Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuel for Success, episode number 230 on this wonderful Wednesday. And today, I love Wednesdays for a lot of reasons. One is W is my fifth favorite letter. And the other thing is that every Wednesday, we talk about spirituality. And today is our day. And we're going to be doing a Mission 25 recap and talking about a few things about serving people. So welcome everybody that's listening live, everybody later on the archives. Good to have you here. Good morning. Mr. Maddox, how are you this morning?
Well, my friend, I've been having an awesome day until you just stumped the whole entire world with the letter W being your fifth favorite letter. Because here's my deal. In my whole entire lifetime, I've never sat down and thought, what's my favorite letter? You know what I mean? So I'm going to guess three quick reasons right now why W is number 5 for you. I would say number 1, work, because you love to work. Number 2, whiners, because you hate whiners. Number 3, winning, because you love to win. How's that? Did I do a good job? Is that why it's number 5?
Perfect. In fact, here's my list. You nailed it. So, I'm just kidding. Actually, what I was just thinking is we should do like Sesame Street. Today's show is brought to you by the letter W.
Oh, to all the Sesame Street lovers out there, you got to admit, life wouldn't even be worth living had we not grown up with Sesame Street. Would you agree? So today is about spirituality, and as you know, everybody needs this aspect in their life because what fun or what use or what good is life if you don't have God in it? Because God is the ultimate source of happiness, true happiness. Because, Mike, we're body, soul, mind, you know? Like there's things that can feed the mind, there's things that can feed the body, but there's only one thing that can feed your spirit, and that's God. And so excited today, Mike, to do a Mission 25 recap. As all of you know, this is a daily internet talk show where Mike and I literally just talk about things that pertain to success. Every Monday is health and weight loss. Every Tuesday is a life coaching motivation show. Every Wednesday is a show on spirituality. Every Thursday is a show about business and entrepreneurship. And every Friday, Mike and I go in on the subject of family and relationships. So today, we're here to talk for the next, 18 minutes. Mike and I are working towards moving our show to 20 minutes in length. So to all you 30-minute marathoners out there, the good news is we're here every day. This is our 230th episode, my friends. So Mike, Mission 25, obviously anybody that follows us is going to know that Mission 25 is a very big passion of ours. We've had a fun time. This was our 11th missions trip this year. Is that amazing to you, Mike? 11?
It is.
It's like yesterday we were sitting in the Tampa airport and I was picking you and Carol up. What was it, 12:30 at night? That was fun. That was fun sitting there waiting for our bags. And I think we stayed up late talking and drinking coffee. And did we go eat that night? Did we?
No, I don't think so.
Were you hungry though?
Maybe we might have picked up a pizza. I don't know.
From downtown?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. Okay. Well, for all those that watch our Monday show, you didn't hear that. But anyways, so Mike, this, Mission 25 has been a fun journey. We decided we're going to talk about Mission 25 more often. It could end up being our Wednesday show, a whole entire show designated to spirituality / Mission 25 because so many things happen, Mike. People, even if you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you're only capturing about 15% of Mission 25. So we decided we want to tell more stories, share more of what's going on behind the scenes, even, what's coming up in 2015.
Sure.
So I think this would be a good time to let everyone know about our switcheroo in one of our locations, and that is next year in 2015. It's everybody thought, and we thought we were going to Cleveland, Ohio, and we're actually not. We decided that we felt very strongly we needed to return to Washington, D.C., so now we'll be doing Washington, D.C. in April. So I'm sorry to all you that live in Ohio. I really am. Don't take it personal. Honestly, it's an issue where we really believe God led us. That's the real issue. And then B, Encouraging news for those that do live in Ohio is we got 2 very close in Chicago and Detroit. So there's still hope for all you that live in Ohio. And yeah, Marcella, believe me, if we do it outside of America, not if, when, Vancouver will be number 1. I guarantee it'll be number 1.
Vancouver's on the short list.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the deal, Mike, real quick, before we dive into Mission 25, I thought this morning in moving forward with our show, I wanted to share just 10 quick ways to do missions work. And I want to ask you a few questions because I know you and your wife actually do missions work as a lifestyle. You guys do a lot of random stuff. But number 1, guys, especially this time of the year, it's cold. As you all know, that song, Baby, It's Cold Outside, we could all be playing that right now. It's even really cold in Florida. But socks, hats, gloves, sweatshirts, jackets, all of these things are extremely valuable to a homeless person right now. You'd be surprised what a hat and a pair of gloves would mean to somebody that's homeless. And really, it doesn't cost a lot of money. So that's idea number 1. Idea number 2 is I would really like to encourage and see everybody. In fact, I would like people to start letting us know when you do this. I would like to see everyone might become a volunteer at a local shelter. There are so many different local shelters that you actually can become a volunteer there. And I just think that's good, Mike. I think I think even people that are not even Christians should get involved in volunteer work. I really believe this is the spirit of America that's been missing. Is, everybody, we have good intentions, but usually it's just a handful of people. I think every shelter or every single one of you watching this show should become a volunteer at a shelter. Number 3, Mike, this is a fun thing to do. If you've got the funds, on really cold nights, go out about 8 o'clock at night, just as the sun is setting, 7, 8 o'clock. Pick a homeless couple. Or what I look for, Mike, is elderly homeless people. And I'll just randomly pick one up and say, hey, I'm putting you in a hotel for tonight. I know it's only one night, Mike, but that one night of them getting to just shower and have heat and, get to sleep in a bed, sometimes I'll do it for 2 nights. Sometimes I'll even really be in a cheery mood and do it for a week. Say, listen, I'm going to pay for this for a week. And I don't do it at the, Ritz-Carlton, of course. Now, I think that would be cool sometimes. But, find a good deal, of course. And believe me, they're just grateful to have heat. So that's number 3. Number 4, and I know you guys have done this type of stuff, but coffee, hot chocolate, or soup. Any of those 3 things on a cold night or a cold morning, even right after dinner time or right around dinner time. Why don't you and your family make a big pot of soup and take it to where the homeless are and give out some cups of hot soup? It means a lot for them to have something hot to put in their body. Number 5 is help a family in need by bringing them food. That's a real big way to give back and serve people. There's a lot of people that are in need that are, maybe somebody that's out of a job. Maybe somebody that's literally at poverty level. Bring them some food. And, Mike, bring them some good food. You can bring them food from the grocery store. You can actually go bring them. You can call them up or go to their house and say, hey, I'm bringing you, Outback tonight. What do you want? I'm bringing you barbecue. Bring them some barbecue. Just go to the barbecue restaurant, load up, get everything. Baked beans, garlic bread, pork, ribs. Of course, you're killing them, of course, but, buy a nice pair of shoes for a kid that's in poverty, Mike. This is big. Anytime you can find a child that's living in poverty that doesn't have nice shoes, especially if they're at the teenage level, because this is so big among teenagers. Really, shoes are becoming so popular, Mike. Just puts a big smile on their face. Mike, only you could probably help with this, or you that live way up in good old-fashioned, the free frozen tundra states, is shoveling snow for widows. There's a lot of widows out there that can't afford to have someone come, shovel their driveway. So some of you men, some of you teenage young boys, college young men, strong men, You should adopt a widow and take care of her driveway all winter. Every time it snows, you're there. You're scraping off her car. You're making sure her driveways and sidewalks are shoveled. It's a big way to serve. So I'm going to stop there. I have more ideas. Actually, you know what? There's only 2 more. Take a fatherless. Right now it's hockey season and basketball season. You know how cool it would be? Take a couple fatherless kids to a basketball game or a hockey game, especially if you live in areas, like we got the Miami Heat here, the Orlando Magic, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning right here. And then last but not least, guys, go out about 8 or 9 o'clock and find homeless people that are sleeping that don't have big blankets and give them a big old sleeping bag or a big blanket. And believe you me, they're out there. We saw them in New Orleans, Mike. There were homeless people in that cold weather that were freezing because they had no blanket and no sleeping bag. So having said that, before we get into Mission 25, Mike, share, I know you and your wife have randomly, give us some ideas of some just things that you guys did on a whim. Something that y'all did randomly to go out and serve and give back to people that were in need.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes you don't think that, when you have a mind to look for something, you find things. And so what we do is we look for opportunities and we look for resources. And then when we find resources that a lot of times there's resources available and there's people that need it and that just needs a connection. So a lot of times we just serve as that bridge, that gap. And so, we came into, through our food ministry, a bunch of diapers, for example, one time, that we were able to get extremely inexpensively. And so we, took like 30 cases of diapers and just loaded them in our car. We started driving around, and in the sort of first tier of suburbs that we live in and that our church is in, there isn't really any homeless, but there is a lot of poverty and there's a lot of people in need. And so we went to, some lower income areas, and my wife is so smart. She'd be like looking for strollers and kids bikes out on the front porch of like these townhouses and stuff, and she'd just go up and knock on the door and say, "Hey, you got babies? We got diapers," and just started giving out diapers. Kind of going door to door, randomly blessing people with diapers. That was a lot of fun. In fact, I remember one of our guys went on a city bus and like was giving away stuff on the bus. So that's kind of fun, and that was just an issue of we had the stuff, so we went and gave it away. We did actually last year, about this time, I think it was about a year ago, we got 25 teapots and put together teapot kits with like some tea and some hot cocoa and some other things, and just tied them up with a nice bow tie. And we went to one of the neighborhoods where actually our good friends Tommy and Lacey do their community connection every summer. And we started knocking on doors and just saying, "Hey, we just wanted to bless you with this teapot. For the holidays, it's getting cold outside. Hope you can use it. Hope you can enjoy it." And that was a blast, man. We had a great time. It only took, an hour to give away 25 teapots and these kits. It seems a little weird, a little random, but it's like, hey, it was fun.
No, Mike, when I saw that on Facebook and Carol told me on the phone what y'all were, I loved that. And you got to admit, wasn't that amazing to knock on someone's door, them open it up and say, "Here, we want to bless you with a tea." Like, who wouldn't want an extra teapot and some goodies with it,
Well, a lot of people didn't have one. It's funny, the conversations that ensue, of course, because they're like trying to figure out what your angle is. Like, no, I just want to give it to you. It's free. That's it. They're like okay, why?
Ellen Ray's on here. Her parents went and bought 20 large pizzas and 22 liters and went door to door at dinner time in a very low income poverty trailer park. And we got to go with them, dude. I mean, we saw grown men cry. We saw grown men be like, "I didn't even know what I was going to eat tonight. I had no food in the house." Elderly men, people like, "Wow, this is so," it was just neat. It was neat. Like, you know what I don't get, Mike? Why more people don't do this as a lifestyle? I love what Mary said. She said it should be a lifestyle, not an afterthought. And I love what you said, that you guys keep things on hand because you're always looking for ways. I like what you said about the mind to, like, you see an opportunity, like, do it,
Yeah.
It's
if you're in Target and they're having a clearance sale on something that you feel like you could maybe find somebody that could use it, and maybe you can get 50 pair of socks for $1 each, right? Don't be thinking about this guy, right? Be thinking about what you can do to serve your community. And so when you have, and my wife is amazing at that. She's like the master of seeing things and figuring out, hey, we can use this to do this. And, that's what she does most of her shopping. So you ladies that like to shop, here's a way to shop and bless, right? She could teach a class on that.
No, she could. Actually, we should have her on the show one day just to give ideas.
We did. She reminded me.
Go ahead.
We had a truck full of pies once. That was pretty funny. But
dude, you should visit Mike and Carol's home. It's like visiting not a thrift store. It's like visiting a I don't know. It's the most unique place on the planet. There's like all kinds of like just giveaway stuff, warehouse. Mission 25 stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's like definitely not like your typical. It's like the home of a true missionary. I mean, you walk in, you're walking. It's like mazes. You're like, wait a minute. Carol will be like, oh, that's our 10 boxes of food for the homeless, and that's for Mission 25. Houston. And that's, watch out. Those are all the juice boxes for all the kids at the Mission 25 in New York. I mean, it's funny. I'm like, I need like a GPS to get through your place because all the like stuff, it's pretty cool though. I think it's cool. I know it's not that bad, Carol. I'm just having fun with you. Sam's warehouse.
There's no clutter, but actually sometimes like a week leading up to a big mission, there will be stuff everywhere that we're organizing, but ordinarily it's not.
Resources, is there any way, maybe we won't be able to provide this on the spot, but is there any way to get a hold of the people in New Orleans that are selling sleeping bags for $10? Because people, I mean, that's a steal. To find sleeping bags for $10. Do you by chance, Carol, know either one? I know Tammy had the contact. But any of you that are into buying sleeping bags for the homeless, and you should, definitely tap into this.
Let's connect after the show because I've actually got a resource that we could potentially do and help distribute it to our Mission 25 peeps for even less than that for extremely high quality sleeping bags. So
awesome. Well, you guys, this whole show, again, like I said, Mike and I are going to pretty much convert Wednesday's show into more Mission 25 type stuff because there's such a movement across the world for this. And, it's our show. And we want to make sure that we keep everybody motivated and not only motivated, but also give practical resources and ideas of a lot of do's and don'ts of this type of work. So obviously, Mike, we're almost out of time. So we'll go to 25 minutes today. Let's just give a quick New Orleans recap. The first question before I share some of my stories. In our homeless teen shelter where there were homeless children and teens, when we were connecting, I saw you sitting at a table with a teenage young man, probably I don't know, you'll tell his age, but you were with him for a long time, almost the whole duration of the 2 hours of the thing, which I love because we're all about connecting. Tell us a little bit about his story, man.
Sure. Well, his name was John, and he's 17. And, I said, hey, how'd you, tell me your story. How did you end up here? And, there's a pretty long story, but initially it was Hurricane Katrina, of course, that uprooted them. They lost everything they had, and it was quite a harrowing journey that they ended up, leaving New Orleans right in front of the storm and ended up, kind of bouncing all over the place and, random people blessed them. And it was an amazing journey. They ended up in Chicago for a couple of years and then came back and just, everything has been difficult. And, when you lose everything, sometimes it can be really hard to get back on your feet. And so they've hit some bumps in the road. Anyways, they ended up in the shelter there, he and his mother. And as I'm talking to him, he's a very articulate and intelligent young man. And I'm like, so let me ask you a question. What do you think? He's graduating this next spring, so he's the same age as my daughter. And he's like, I'm like, what do you plan to do after that? And he immediately said, I'm going to be a video game designer. And I said, well, really? And I'll be real with you. I'm a programmer, I'm an IT guy, I'm a tech guy, so I've heard that before, right? Everybody wants to be in video games. So I'm like, really? So tell me what you'd like to do. And he really just went off on in a good way. He knew all the different physics engines. He knew the different ways to develop games. He knew how to design games. He knew to storyboard. And I mean, he was well educated. I'm like, wow, do you guys have like a video game design class in your high school? He's like, no. He said, but I take a couple hours a day and I search out resources online. I go to the library and I look on YouTube and I watch video game designers that have been successful talk about their craft. And I said, man, you're going to be successful. And so here's a young man. He's living in a shelter, and he's applying all of his spare time to get himself prepared to go to school to do what he wants to do and be successful. And to me, that was just inspiring.
You know, Mike, it was. And I remember you telling me that, and I got fired up thinking, see, that kid gets it. But, you know, Mike, we've met a lot of inspiring teenagers that live in these shelters.
Yes.
And I tell my son all the time, I said, Caleb, every moment of your life, live in gratitude. I show him pictures, I tell him stories, and many times he's been blessed to actually be there to see it himself. But, you know, I tell him, look, we don't complain over small stuff. Mike, we've seen more this year to make you and I be the most thankful people that are breathing. Amen. You know, because it's like, what do we ever have to complain about? Ever, you know? But anyways, awesome stuff. You know, Mike, here's the deal, man. I want to just throw out what I thought was cool is our actual volunteers did a lot of spontaneous missions. Now, Mike, we went to 5 shelters Saturday, plus did a community connection in the lowest income, highest poverty neighborhood in New Orleans, where the night before we showed up, 3 people were shot. And Mike, we also took, I don't know, I think it was well over close to 40 homeless people to breakfast, okay, which that was a cool experience. Again, right. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook's not even going to come close to telling that story of like what really took place to make this happen. But when you consider 5 shelters in one day, going to the worst neighborhood in New Orleans and taking homeless people out to breakfast, starting from 5:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, or till 9 o'clock at night, excuse me. Cool thing is, Mike, on top of all that, you know, think about Jeff and his 2 friends that came from his church. You know, they did a ton of stuff. They got up early and went to Walmart, and they went out late that night. But they also, in conjunction with all that we were doing, took a homeless man that had no shoes and bought him new shoes. I watched ladies giving nice winter gloves to other homeless ladies. I watched them taking off their hands and saying, here, you know, think about the ladies that, you know, went on behalf of this homeless teenage and children's shelter. You know, they were out to Walmart till 3 o'clock in the morning making this whole party happen. Because we threw them like a legit party. It was awesome. A real party. Yeah. You know, and the thing of Danielle and her husband, I mean, they were amazing. I mean, they were absolutely just off the charts. There's no way to even say. I mean, they were on top of it. Jonathan and Danielle and Wiley. And dude, you talk about make it happen people, but not only they did so much the night before and the morning of. I think they maybe slept 2 hours. They did the whole 15 hours of mission work, and then because they went out and bought like 10 extra sleeping bags and said, we want to go walk up onto homeless people that are sleeping on cardboards and give them a sleeping bag. So long after everyone was done, exhausted, all that good stuff, I mean, to tell you right now, it was just I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was so cool to see the random spontaneous missions of people doing that. People went to children's hospitals. We had like maybe an hour free time. People could have went and got lunch. People could have went and took a nap. They could have done anything. But most people went and did spontaneous mission. I know a mom, Allison from West Monroe, that took her kids, went and bought a bunch of candy, went back in that neighborhood that we were at Saturday, and gave all the kids candy Sunday morning before they left town. I thought that was cool. See, there's so many stories, and we're almost out of time, but literally, my friends, Mike, and that's where we're going to go on every Wednesday, because from our 11 missions trips, there's probably 300 stories you haven't even heard. So it was an awesome missions trip, Mike. You know, we got another one coming up in New York City. And y'all pray for us as we go into New York City. That's a big task going in there in the winter. And it's a big city. A lot of homelessness, a lot of children in poverty we're going to serve. So it's going to be fun.
Let me say one more thing, and I see all the chatter on the side about 20 of these and 25 of those and all the things. And something this morning, as I was pulling on my clean, dry socks, which I'm blessed to have, and I thanked God for my clean, dry socks this morning. And I remembered Saturday morning when we were standing outside the shelter, and we had bags of socks and underwear and things in the back of our rental car. And I remember pulling out a pair of socks and handing it to a gentleman, a homeless fellow, and he just went and he held them and he's like, "Thank you so much for one pair of socks." And one pair of socks can make a huge difference in somebody's life.
You're right, Mike. And think about it. If everybody that follows us, okay, if you could go buy a pack of socks and send them, we could probably give out 500 pair of socks in New York to homeless people. You may think, like, do you guys know how good it feels to put on clean socks?
Right.
Like, it feels good. Clean, warm socks when it's cold, especially if you don't have nice shoes, which a lot of these homeless people don't have. At least let them have some good, comfortable, warm socks. And you're right, Mike. Socks and underwear are one of the number one requests that we get from the homeless. One of the number one. They're like, "Oh my God, they stand in line for socks, man."
Lost you for a second, but no, you're good. Are you here?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Pacey, thanks for putting our link up there to donate. As you know, Mission25 survives 100% off donations. We don't charge registration. We're not charging registration at all. Anybody can attend our missions trips for free. There's no charge at all. So yeah, anytime you want to make a donation, someone might say, "Well, what's my $10 going to help?" $10 could buy socks for a homeless person. $10 could buy a pack of socks. Never think, this is what keeps people from donating, and this is what hurts charities, is they think, "Well, I don't have $1,000. I don't have $5,000 or $500. Friends, $5 helps buy, a homeless person's breakfast, or at least puts it towards it. If 3 people gave $5, you 3 people took a homeless person to breakfast at one of our Mission25. So never assume, when everybody gets behind a movement and does little, we can do a lot of huge things. We really can.
Amen.
Mike, good luck on us trying to do 20-minute shows on Mission25 days. I wish you luck, and I wish me luck. The average cost to do a Mission25, Lance, is right at about $5,000, my friend. We've got it. We've been working the budget all year, trying to narrow it down, but that's about the overall cost. And Mike and I don't get paid, of course. We just do our thing.
Carol's new
What's
motto.
that, Mike?
Carol's new motto: "If it's there, I spend it." Talk about buying stuff from Mission25, just to be clear. Okay. Hey, great show. Thanks so much, Matt.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate that. Yeah, great show, guys. Thank you so much. Next Wednesday, we'll be back on the Mission25 conversation. For those that are new to Fuel for Success today, this is a daily internet talk show. Mike Hopkins and I are here every single morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. All you got to do is go to fuelforsuccess.tv or make sure that you subscribe to Spreecast, because anytime we upload a show, you'll immediately get an email. Of course, go to iTunes and subscribe to our podcast. So every time we do a show, it shows up on your iPod or iPhone or whatever. And then also go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is just a daily talk show where we bring value, content, motivation, practical teaching and coaching and training for life's success. God bless you, my friends. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Thanks for all the chatter over there. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all those that are giving. Thanks for all those that are donating. Thanks for all those that are going to be sending socks and toothbrushes. And hey, you know what? Even as Mike, again, next time you're at Walmart, go pick up a cute stuffed animal. What are you talking, $10? And mail it. Send it to our next Mission25. Always best to send it to our next location. We'll always be putting our next location on the website. So when you see it on the website, always usually best to send it there. And we'll give details about that, actually. I think Mike and I will actually shoot a short video, put it on our website about how to send stuff. All right? So enjoy, my friends. God bless. And we'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 9:30.
See you tomorrow. Enjoy your Wednesday, everyone.